Sabha elections. Hello to all the viewers and welcome to Evening Prime. I'm Aaron Lingdo. We start the bulletin with the big update on the devastating landslide site in Manipur. One more body has been recovered from the debris at the site of the landslide in Tupul. Now, the deceased has been identified as Kamlesh Talukdar. Now, as per information released by the NDRF, Talukdar hailed from Assam's Dhubri district and was working as a senior section engineer at the Northeast Frontier Railways. Now, with this, the total number of bodies recovered has gone up to 50. Now, meanwhile, 12 persons are still missing under the debris. The search and rescue operations entered its 10th day today and has so far been halted for the day and will resume tomorrow morning. Well, this is the big update at the moment. One body has been recovered from the debris at the site of the landslide in Tupul. The deceased has been identified as Kamlesh Talukdar. Now, as per information released by the NDRF, Talukdar hailed from Assam's Dhubri district and was working as a senior section engineer at the Northeast Frontier Railways. Well, with this, the total number of bodies recovered has gone up to 50. Meanwhile, 12 persons are still missing under the debris. The search and rescue operations entered its 10th day today and has so far been halted for the day and will resume tomorrow morning. And joining me on the broadcast over the phone this evening is my colleague Arindam Das. Arindam, if you can hear me, it's the 10th day today. Another body recovered from the site as well. What's the latest you have?
Yes, Aaron, relentless search and rescue operation continues at the Tupul landslide location in Manipur. And on the 10th day today, the rescue and search teams engaged in the search and rescue operations were able to retrieve one more body. And the body has been identified as that of Kamlesh Talukdar. He hails from Golokganj in Dhubri district of Assam. And he was at that site working for the railway project, that's the Giribam Imphal railway project. And when this landslide struck that area, now the railway team present there have identified the deceased because the body was in a very bad shape. But despite that, the railway team present there were able to identify that it is the body of senior section engineer of NF Railways, Kamlesh Talukdar. And with this retrieval of the body, the number of bodies retrieved so far from the debris has gone up to 50. But still now, 12 people are still missing in the debris, and relentless search and rescue operation still continues. But for the day, the search and rescue operation have been called off because of the night hours. Again, it will resume in the morning hours tomorrow. So the search and rescue operations for the remaining 12 bodies will take place tomorrow again. But yes, right now we can only say that one more body has been retrieved from the debris site on the 10th day of search and rescue operations. Because you see, for the last 2 days, on the 8th and 9th day, the search and rescue teams engaged there attained no success because not a single body was retrieved on the 8th and 9th day. And today, on the 10th day, one body has been retrieved from the debris, and that deceased has been identified as a senior section engineer of NF Railways, Kamlesh Talukdar, who hails from Golokganj in Dhubri district of Assam.
All right, our Chief of Bureau there, Arindam Das, thank you so much for bringing us all the details. Brisk progress in terms of rescue team there. The operation have been halted for the day. It will again resume tomorrow. We will continue to bring you all the updates from Ground Zero. All right, for now, let's take a look at the deepening crisis from the nation island, Sri Lanka. Well, Sri Lanka continues to enter into further pandemonium with each passing day. Today, protesters demanding the resignation of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa ended his official residence in Colombo after putting down the barricades. Police used tear gas and water cannons and opened fire to disperse protesters this morning to prevent them from entering. However, the protesters entered the president's house after putting down the barricades. Protesters were seen cooking food in the kitchen at Gotabaya Rajapaksa's residence. Now, earlier visuals emerged where protesters were seen swimming in the pool in the president's residence. Well, Rajapaksa, who was facing calls for resignation since March, was using the president's house as his residence and office since protesters came to occupy the entrance to his office early in April. And according to sources, the president was shifted to the army headquarters last night before the protesters surrounded the president's palace. Now, meanwhile, at least 30 persons, including 2 police officers, were injured during the ongoing protest and were admitted to the National Hospital in Colombo. All 16 MPs from President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's party, Sri Lanka, Podujana Peramuna, have requested an immediate resignation of the president. While Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe today summoned an emergency party leaders meeting to discuss a resolution to the situation in the country. Well, meanwhile, Prime Minister Wickremesinghe today declared that Sri Lanka is bankrupt. Now, this formal statement by the Prime Minister came in as the country suffers its worst financial crisis in decades, leaving millions struggling to buy food, medicine, and fuel. Well, the Prime Minister told lawmakers that negotiations with the International Monetary Fund to revive the country's collapsed economy are indeed difficult because Sri Lanka has entered the talks as a bankrupt country rather than a developing one. He said that since Sri Lanka is participating in negotiations as a bankrupt country, it would face more difficulty and complications in the process. Well, meanwhile, we have breaking news from trouble-torn Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has resigned. Well, the Sri Lankan Prime Minister has said that his resignation will give way for the formation of an all-party government in the country. Now, the all-party government will see political parties across the spectrum in Sri Lanka join heads to battle the economic crisis that has exploded in the island nation. Well, this is the big breaking at the moment. Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe has resigned. Well, the Sri Lankan Prime Minister has said that his resignation will give way for the formation of an all-party government in the country. Now, the all-party government will see political parties across the spectrum in Sri Lanka join hands to battle the economic crisis that has exploded in the island nation. Well, Ranil Wickremesinghe's resignation comes amidst Sri Lanka reeling under a major economic crisis. Now, earlier in the day, Wickremesinghe had held an important meeting which he had declared Sri Lanka to be a bankrupt country. Noteworthy here is that President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has already fled to a secure army location, following which scores of protesters stormed the president's palace and ransacked it. Now, there is also a growing demand for Rajapaksa's resignation. And we have another big breaking news. Just in, one more accused in the Vineet Bagaria suicide case has been arrested by the police. Now, the accused has been identified as Samsullah Khan. It may be mentioned that the three persons accused of abetting the suicide of Vineet Bagaria are now behind the bars. Well, this is another breaking. We're tracking this hour. One more accused in the Vineet Bagaria suicide case has been arrested by the police. Now, the accused has been identified as Samsullah Khan. It may be mentioned here that the three persons accused of abetting the suicide of Vineet Bagaria are now behind bars. Assam Chief Minister Dr. Hemanta Biswa Sharma has taken strong exception of the Vineet Bagaria suicide case that has sent shockwaves across the state. While Chief Minister Hemanta Biswa Sharma visited Vineet's residence in eastern Assam's Dibrugarh district this afternoon and said that the Dibrugarh district administration had totally failed in responding to the complaints made by the deceased, including his family members. While Hemanta Biswa Sharma, also, who is popular as the People's Chief Minister, in fact sought the apology before the family of Vineet Bagaria and the people of the state. Well, Chief Minister Sharma apologized considering the fact that his message to the police administration to be people-friendly has not been adhered to by the Dibrugarh District Police Administration. Now, considering the gravity of the circumstances that led to the tragic incident, Chief Minister Sharma has directed for a proper investigation to ascertain facts and book the culprits. Thus, it is clear in no uncertain terms that the police authorities for whose alleged negligence led to the death of Vineet Bagaria.
Amar Dibrugarh eta অত্যন্ত দুঃখজনক ঘটনা সংঘটিত হয় আমাৰ ইয়াতে এজন ব্যক্তিৰ অত্যাচাৰ বা বিভিন্ন ধৰণৰ আইন বিৰোধী কামৰ বাবে এজন অতি উদীয়মান যুৱকে আত্মহত্যা কৰিবলগীয়া হয় আৰু মই এটো যিখিনি কথা শুনিলো তাৰ পৰা মই এটো কথা ক'ব পাৰো যে ডিব্ৰুগড় এডমিনিষ্ট্ৰেশ্যন was totally fail তেওঁলোক ব্যৰ্থ হৈছিল আৰু পৰিয়ালটোৰ ওচৰত মই ক্ষমাও খুজিছো যে মই মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী হৈ থকাৰ পিছত আৰু আমাৰ ফালৰ পৰা স্পষ্টভাৱে আৰক্ষীক মেছেজ যোৱাৰ পিছত যে দুখীৰ লগত কেতিয়াও কম্প্ৰমাইজ কৰিব নালাগে সাধাৰণ মানুহৰ লগত আৰক্ষী থাকিব লাগে তাৰ পিছতো এই যেটো ঘটনা হ'ল তাৰ বাবে অসমবাসী ৰাইজৰ ওচৰত মই ক্ষমা বিচাৰিছো এটো হ'ব নালাগিছিল যি কৰিব লাগে আমি কৰিম কিন্তু এই ঘটনাটোৱে মোক অত্যন্ত দুখ দিছে আৰু এটো ঘটনা কেতিয়াও হ'ব নালাগিছিল আৰক্ষী চূড়ান্ত মই নিজেই কলো না এক কথাত মই গুটেখিনে কৈছো যে এটো মই ক'ব লাগিব যে এটো দুখ ময়ো মোৰ পাতি লৈছো যে তাৰ মানে মই যিখিনি মেছেজ দিব চেষ্টা কৰিছিলো সেই মেছেজখিনি আৰক্ষী এতিয়ালৈকে পোৱাই নাই যে সদায় ইনোসেন্ট মানুহৰ লগত থাকিব নিৰপৰাধী মানুহৰ লগত থাকিব আৰু ক্ৰিমিনেলৰ লগত কম্প্ৰমাইজ নকৰিব এটো আছিল মোৰ মেছেজ কিন্তু ডিব্ৰুগড়ৰ দৰে টাউনত যদি এই মেছেজটো এতিয়ালৈকে আমাৰ জিলা প্ৰশাসনে পোৱা নাই বাকি ভিতৰুৱা গাঁৱত আৰু কিমান কি হৈ আছে গতিকে এই ঘটনাটো অত্যন্ত দুখজনক ঘটনা অত্যন্ত করুণ ঘটনা আৰু তাৰ কাৰণে পৰিয়ালটোৰ ওচৰতো মই ক্ষমা বিচাৰিছো আৰু অসমবাসী ৰাইজৰ ওচৰতো মই ক্ষমা বিচাৰিছো
Now, meanwhile, we also have reactions coming in from the kin of deceased Vineet Bagaria after Chief Minister Hemanta Biswa Sharma's visit. Let's listen in.
বহুত আশাবাদী তেওঁৰ ওপৰত বহু কথা আছে কাৰণ আমি নহয় গোটেই ৰাজ্য গোটেই দেশ তেওঁৰ ওপৰত বিশ্বাস কৰিছে আজি তেওঁ আমাৰ এটা সিএম আছে তাৰ কাৰণে মই তেওঁ কৈছো আমি ৰাম ৰাজ্যত বহি আছো এতিয়া তেওঁৰ কাৰণে আমি ইমান মানে শান্তিত বহি আছো আজি কোনো ভয় ছয় নাই কিন্তু হেতু ইনসিডেন্ট হোৱাৰ পাছত ডিব্ৰুগড় এডমিনিষ্ট্ৰেশ্যনৰ ওপৰত এতিয়া বিশ্বাস শেষ হৈ তেওঁ ক্ষমা খুজিছে কিন্তু তেওঁ কোনো ভুল নাই তেওঁ কোনো ভুল হোৱা নাই তেওঁ নিজে আজি ক্ষমা খুজিছে তেওঁ নিজে লাজ পাইছে কি তেওঁ এক বছৰত তেওঁ থকা পাছতো তেনেকে ডিব্ৰুগড় নিচিনা টাউনত এনেকে কথা হ'ব পাৰে তেওঁ ভাবা নাছিল তেওঁ নিজে কৈছে মোৰ কি সিকিউৰিটি আছে আজি মোৰ চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰৰ ওপৰত বহুত বিশ্বাস আছে আৰু মোৰ পুৰা বিশ্বাস আছে কি চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰ সাহেব ডেফিনেটলি আমাক জাষ্টিছ দিব, মোৰ ল'ৰাক জাষ্টিছ দিব। মোৰ CMৰ ওপৰত বহুত বিশ্বাস আছে, মই ভগৱানৰ নিচিনা তাক পূজা কৰোঁ। তেওঁ মোক মোৰ ফেমিলিক জাষ্টিছ দিব, আমাক ফেমিলি চিকিউৰিটি দিব, মোৰ বিশ্বাস আছে।
আজি তেওঁ আহিছে এজন জেনেৰেল মানুহ ঘৰত, মই বহুত ভাল পালোঁ সেইটো কথা যে তেওঁ ৰাইজৰ লগত মিলি থাকে, ৰাইজৰ দুখ যি কিবা প্ৰব্লেম হয় এইটো তেওঁ ভালকৈ বুজি পায়। আৰু তেওঁ নিজে কৈছে মই বহুত লাজ পাইছোঁ যে আমাৰ এডমিনিষ্ট্ৰেশ্যন এনেকুৱা কাম কৰিছে যিটো হ'বই নেলাগিছিলে। মানে কথা হ'ল যে এজন মানুহ ছুইচাইড কৰি ল'লে সেইটো ডাঙৰ কথা নহয়, ইয়াত আহি কোনোবা দম দিয়ে তাৰ পাছত এইটো ঘটনা হৈ যোৱাটো তো বহুত ডাঙৰ কথা হৈ গ'ল। কিন্তু এইটো হ'বই নেলাগিছিলে, মানে মোৰ কোৱা কথা এইটোৱে যে তেওঁ ইমানেই লাজ পাইছে। আমি ভাবোঁ যে এই বস্তুটো গোটেই ফাৰ্ষ্ট ট্ৰেকত লোৱা হয়, ফাৰ্ষ্ট ট্ৰেক কোৰ্ট বুলি কোৱা হয়, তাত লোৱা হয়। তো সিহঁতি বেলেগ মানুহক দম দিব নোৱাৰিব, নহ'লে সিহঁতি বেল চেল লৈ ফুৰি থাকিব, আকৌ চবক দম দি থাকিব, সেইটো হ'ব নালাগে।
And joining me on the broadcast this evening is my colleague Ripunjoy Das. Ripunjoy, if you can hear me, swift progress, of course, thereby with the Dibrugarh police, considering the fact of the strong exception by the chief minister himself there. What are the latest that you have?
Yeah, Aaron, it seems that finally the Dibrugarh police has come up from its deep slumber because, see, whatever has happened is very much unfortunate. In other words, you can see from the chief minister himself with folded arms, pleading to the people of Assam, begging apology for whatever has happened. And it is not only a big incident in Dibrugarh and big failure for the Dibrugarh police. It is a very unfortunate incident. So that is what the family members had also today took up, spoke their heart out to the chief minister, who gave a very, very patient hearing to the entire episode and expressed himself that he said that his expressions were that it is not Kashmir or something like that. He was drawing parallel to those kind of situation. And he also, in presence of the family members, he questioned the Deputy Commissioner Vishwajit Pegu and Superintendent of Police Mr. Shwetank Mishra about the incident, and also in other way he criticized the administration in front of the family members. So it is clear from the chief minister's expression that how deeply pained he is over the entire episode. And on the other side, he said that strict action will be initiated against all those who are found guilty. And that after that only this third accused Shamsullah Khan has been arrested and was produced before the judicial magistrate here today.
All right. Well, Ripunjoy Das joining me on the broadcast this evening. Thank you for all your inputs. And moving on now, the Mizoram government has sanctioned over rupees 10.48 crore as compensation to be disbursed to 2,488 families across the state who had culled their pigs to prevent further spread of the African swine fever that hit the state. Now, officials of the State Animal Husbandry and Veterinary Department said that the State Finance Department gave the sanction order on the 1st of July and the amount is expected to be disbursed soon. Now, as per inputs, at least 10,910 pigs have been culled since the start of the African swine fever in the state last year. Now, meanwhile, the compensation to be given to the families who culled their pigs was estimated at rupees 11.69 crore, and the proposal was submitted to the Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. Well, it may be mentioned here that over 33,000 pigs' deaths have occurred, and 10,910 have been since the ASF outbreak in the state last year, covering all the 11 districts, and the total loss was estimated to be over rupees 60 crore. Now, besides the outbreak of African swine fever was first reported at Lungsen village in South Mizoram's Lunglei district near the Bangladesh border on March 21st last year. Well, the outbreak was believed to be caused by pigs illegally imported from the neighboring states, according to officials. And to give us more details on this development, I'm joined by my colleague Isaac from Mizoram. Isaac, of course, a relief there for the people after everything that they've lost because of the African swine fever. Give us more details.
Yes, the state government recently have sanctioned 10.48 crore as to the relief fund of the families whose pigs have died due to this African swine fever. So as many as these 2,488 families across the state from different districts have been given this relief. This relief fund. So this relief fund has been already, the state government officials have said that this compensation has already distributed to the concerned district authorities. So they will be distributed in each of their concerned districts. So as per the officials' information, the pigs are still died in the state. So the officials have also said that the pigs which have been culled should be reported in the state so that the compensations can be given to each of the pigs which have been culled. So some of the pigs are still dying in the state. So the state government is taking measures towards this.
Right, and speaking of pigs' death and things, so what are some extra preventive measures that the government is taking to ensure that it doesn't really happen again, it doesn't spread any further?
Yes, the state government have already banned import of these pigs from outside the state as well as from outside the state in India and also from the neighboring countries from Myanmar also. So there have been reports coming in. There have been reports recently from Siaha district that some of the pigs import have been reported, and also the state government is taking measures towards this, and also the people who have been importing pigs were being caught also. So yes, the state government is taking strict measures towards the import of these pigs, and also they are trying to give relief measures to the families who have lost their pigs, and also trying to help those families.
All right, Isaac Zoram Sanga reporting for us from Aizawl. Thank you. And with that, we'll take a very short break, but we've got a lot more lined up when we return. Stay with us.
A university is much more than just a place to get your education. It not only helps you build your career, but also your personality and mindset. At Assam Royal Global University, you will get the most suitable environment to gain knowledge and also grow as a person. The university has the best infrastructure with all the required facilities and best quality equipment for any kind of educational need.
The Tupul railway yard where this massive landslide took place, there was a camp of the territorial army. There were camps of the railway. The landslide started and it came down all the way, and it went down furthermore many meters down to the None River. The officials of the NDRF, SDRF, and also the local people who are carrying out search and rescue operations.
The Shillong Pamai, he's the exact person just lead the rescue operation from this side. This is the Saroi Pandongba village. This is a river side on the Saroi Pandongba side.
हम और आप कभी नहीं सोच सकते थे कि डिमा हासों में इस तरह का न्यू हाफलोंग रेलवे स्टेशन इतना कुछ हो सकता है, और इसी रेलवे स्टेशन में विस्ताडून जैसा ट्रेन यहाँ पर स्पेशल टूरिस्ट आने जाने के लिए भी यहाँ पे रिसेंटली चलाया दिया गया.
You can see the people are trying The local people are trying to help each other.
জ্বৰ মানে COVID-19 নহয়, ই জাপানীজ এনকেফ্লাইটিছৰো লক্ষণ হ'ব পাৰে, কাৰণ এই সময়খিনি জাপানীজ এনকেফ্লাইটিছৰ উচ্চ সংক্ৰমণৰ সময়, গতিকে আতংকিত নহ'ব। অতিপাত জ্বৰ, তীব্ৰ মূৰৰ বিষ, মানসিক অস্থিৰতা, ভ্ৰম আৰু সংজ্ঞানহীনতা, শৰীৰৰ কঁপনি আদি হৈছে জাপানীজ এনকেফ্লাইটিছৰ লক্ষণ। আপোনাৰ ক্ষেত্ৰতো যদি এনে কোনো লক্ষণ পৰিলক্ষিত হয়, তেনেহ'লে আশা, ANM, MPW বা ওচৰৰ চিকিৎসালয়ৰ সৈতে যোগাযোগ কৰক। সকলো জিলা চিকিৎসালয় আৰু চিকিৎসা মহাবিদ্যালয়ত জাপানীজ এনকেফ্লাইটিছৰ পৰীক্ষা আৰু চিকিৎসা বিনামূলীয়াকৈ প্ৰদান কৰা হয়। এই ৰোগৰ পৰা বাচি থাকিবলৈ খোৱাৰ সময়ত সদায় আঁঠুৱা ব্যৱহাৰ কৰক। ঘৰৰ ওচৰৰ পৰা গাহৰি আৰু গাহৰিৰ গঁৰাল আঁতৰাই ৰাখক। দীঘল হাতৰ চোলা আৰু দীঘল হাতৰ পেণ্ট পৰিধান কৰক। সন্ধিয়া ঘৰৰ ভিতৰে বাহিৰে ধোঁৱা দিয়াৰ ব্যৱস্থা কৰক। লগতে সকলো সময়তে কোভিড সংক্ৰান্তীয় নীতি নিয়মসমূহ মানি চলক। সতৰ্ক হওক, সুৰক্ষিত থাকক।
Welcome back, viewers, and thank you for staying on. Before we move any further, let's take a look at your headlines one more time. A political turmoil escalates to a new high in the island nation Sri Lanka. Dramatic visuals of anti-government protesters breaking into Sri Lanka president's residence caught on camera. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa flees official residence. Relentless search and rescue operations continue in Manipur's disaster-hit Tupul. Body of railway official hailing from Assam recovered. 12 people still missing. Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma takes strong exception of Vineet Bagaria's suicide case. Chief Minister Sharma assures stern action against negligent police personnel and perpetrators. One more accused arrested. Mizoram government announces compensation for pig rearers, rupees 10.48 crore to be disbursed to families to compensate culling of pigs owing to the African swine fever. Cloudburst claims 16 lives during Amarnath Yatra. Search and rescue operations intensified to find missing persons. And a massive brainstorming exercise of the Assam BJP in Dibrugarh. Saffron Party deliberates on enhancing party strength at booth level ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. At least 16 people have died in the cloudburst that struck the area near Amarnath Holy Shrine on Friday evening. While rescue operations have been intensified as around 40 people are still missing. Now, the BSF's Mi-17 chopper has been pressed into action to transport the injured persons and dead bodies. Now, most of the pilgrims who were stranded near the holy cave have been shifted to Panchtarni, the ITBP had said. Well, 2 through-the-wall radars, 2 search and rescue dogs have been moved to the holy cave for rescue operations via helicopters from Sharifabad. Now, all DMFs, Tehsildars of Ramban district have been ordered to remain on high alert. Now, Indian Air Force helicopters and transport aircrafts have commenced operations to airlift the NDRF personnel to the site and rescue the pilgrims. Now, the Indian Army has employed sophisticated rescue equipment and trained professionals on site. While search operations and clearing of debris are still underway.
Since yesterday evening, 3 NDRF teams were concentrated on the spot for rescue operations, about 75 rescuers. We have added more from Sheshnag, so about 100 plus rescuers are right now involved in the relief work. Aside from that, with the help of the Indian Air Force, more resources are being airlifted in. Canine squads are being deployed, and extra equipment which will be useful for this kind of a terrain and situation also is being flown in by the Indian Air Force, so that the NDRF teams are strengthened to operate in this situation. As per information, 5 people were rescued alive at the very beginning when the disaster struck. 16 casualties have been confirmed, and about 40 people still seem to be missing. Though we hope that with the kind of deployment, the best resources that the country can place at the disposal of the citizens in such a situation would help in rescuing more and more people alive from that situation.
स्थिति अभी जो भी रिलीफ एंड रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन है अभी भी चालू है. भारतीय सेना, स्टेट के फोर्सेस, दूसरे डिपार्टमेंट, एनडीआरएफ, एसडीआरएफ सभी बहुत अच्छे कोऑर्डिनेशन में काम कर रहे हैं. रिलीफ और रेस्क्यू ऑपरेशन बहुत जोर शोर से चला हुआ है, पर एग्जैक्टली उसमें कंप्लीट होने में टाइम कितना लगेगा, ये क्योंकि बहुत ही डिफिकल्ट टेरेन है, बारिश बहुत ज़्यादा हुई है, स्लाइडिंग ज़्यादा थी, तो एग्जैक्ट टाइम और फिगर देना अभी संभव नहीं है. जैसे जैसे ऑपरेशन प्रोग्रेस होगा आप लोगों को उसके हिसाब से इंफॉर्मेशन दे दूँगा. अभी तक तकरीबन मेरे पास में 28 इंजर्ड आ चुके हैं जी. उसमें से कुछ को थोड़ी सी ज़्यादा इंजरी थी, उनको हमारे आर्मी के हॉस्पिटल में सबसे पहले आर्मी के हेडक्वार्टर में लाके हॉस्पिटल में लेके इनको स्टेबलाइज करके डॉक्टर्स ने चेक करके फिर ऐसे कुछ पेशेंट्स हैं जिनको ज़्यादा इंजरी थी उनको श्रीनगर शिफ्ट कर दिया गया है. बाकी जो पेशेंट्स हैं डॉक्टर अपने कॉल के हिसाब से उनको ट्रीट कर रहे हैं. इन टोटल नियरली 8 चॉपर्स वगैरह इंक्लूडिंग एयरफोर्स एंड आर्मी.
Well, it may be mentioned here that the cloudburst occurred around 5:30 p.m. last evening. At least 3 community kitchens and 24 tents of pilgrims were washed away near Panchtarni in South Kashmir. Now, Panchtarni, 130 kilometers from Srinagar, houses one of the rest camps for the pilgrims. It is located between the base camp at Pahalgam and the last rest camp at Sheshnag Lake near the Amarnath cave shrine. Now, earlier, the strategic Jammu-Srinagar highway was blocked by landslides and mud slush triggered by rain at many places. And moving on now, the Assam Chief Minister Dr. Himanta Biswa Sharma has made out an appeal to the state's Muslim community not to slaughter cows in areas that also have a sizable population of people from other faiths. Well, Chief Minister Sharma said that the slaughter of cows in such areas is not permissible under the Cattle Protection Act and hence it should be avoided. He said that he has faith in the people that his appeal would be considered.
মই নিশ্চয় ইছলাম ধৰ্মী ৰাইজক অনুৰোধ কৰিম যে আমাৰ কেটল যি প্ৰিজাৰ্ভেশ্যন আইন পাছ হৈছে সেই আইন অনুসৰি আন ধৰ্মৰ লোক থকা অঞ্চলত আমি গৰু কুৰবানী কৰা বা গৰুৰ মাংস খোৱাটো আইনৰ দ্বাৰা এতিয়া স্বীকৃত নহয়. সেইবাবে মই সমগ্ৰ ইছলাম ধৰ্মী ৰাইজক বকৰীদৰ শুভেচ্ছা জনাইছোঁ আৰু তেওঁলোকক মই ইমানে আহ্বান জনাম ইয়াত কোনো একশন লোৱা শাস্তি লোৱা পুলিচ যোৱাৰ কথা নাই. মোৰ তেখেতসকলৰ ওপৰত অযুত বিশ্বাস আছে.
Well, the Assam Chief Minister also said that
আচ্ছা আছে, খেজুৰ আছে, যি লাগে এইটো চবে আছে. মানুহ নাই বজাৰত, এনে বহি আছো, কাম ধান্দা নাই. এইবেলা আশা আছিলে, আশা পানী বানপানী আহি গ'ল, কেনেকে হ'ব বজাৰত, এনে চলি আছে. খৰচা মজদুৰি ওলোৱা নাই, এনেকে কাম হৈ আছে আজিকালি.
And shifting focus now, the global Naga Forum has organized a Naga solidarity walk from Kohima that will travel through Maro territory, Maram territory, Pomai territory, and will converge at Taham Zam in Manipur's Senapati district. Well, the Naga solidarity walk will begin on July the 28th and commence on 29th July. Now, but what is the purpose behind this rally? Well, as per the Global Naga Forum, the peoplehood of the Nagas has reached a critical point for which the Solidarity Walk has been organized to converge in a common path of healing and peace for a shared journey to an undivided homeland under the theme, One People, one destiny. Meanwhile, the GNF has appealed to everyone to make the event successful. Meanwhile, our Chief of Bureau, Arindam Das, spoke to Kevitho Kera, who is the co-convener of the Naga Solidarity Walk. Let's listen into that conversation.
We are joined in by the member of Global Naga Forum, Mr. Kevitho Kera. Well, there is going to be a Naga Solidarity Walk 2022 that is going to be organized by Global Naga Forum. Can you please brief us about this Solidarity Walk?
Okay, the Solidarity Walk, it will start from Kohima on the 28th of July. We'll cross the border and we will into Manipur. And on the 29th of July, we plan to reach Senapati and we plan to have a short formal program. And we hope that a lot of people join along the way. We plan to have it peacefully, non-violently, this Solidarity Walk. We do not want to provoke anyone, any authority, nothing as such.
Yes, and what is the background of this Solidarity Walk?
With so many things at stake at the moment, with talks going on between Delhi and Naga leaders also, we felt the need that it is time that Nagas send out a united voice to Delhi especially. That we Nagas, our aspirations are one, that our destiny is one, no matter what. So Global Naga Forum thought, it is right time that Nagas voice out our rights peacefully and loudly to Delhi.
And what request or appeal you'd like to make for participation in this Naga Solidarity Walk?
Yes, we especially want to appeal to our fellow Naga brothers and sisters that no matter wherever we are, our destiny is one. We are one people. Our destiny is one. We should not forget the sacrifices made by our ancestors, our forefathers, and we appeal that during this Solidarity Walk, everything is kept peaceful, non-violent, and wherever you are, we appeal to you that you come out, you come out of your comfort zone and you join this Solidarity Walk and send a loud message, especially to the whole world to hear.
Thank you very much. That was member of Global Naga Forum, Mr. Kevitho Kera, talking to Northeast Live.
Let's take a look now at the big story from Meghalaya. In a major breakthrough, the Meghalaya police has busted an interstate gold smuggling racket. 5 persons have been arrested so far in the raids that were conducted in various locations in Meghalaya and Assam. A total of 7 gold biscuits worth rupees 50 lakhs and cash worth rupees 27 lakhs were recovered during the raids. Now, Meghalaya DGP L.R. Bishnoi, while addressing the media, gave details about the big breakthrough for the police.
So we have seized a 7 number of biscuits, gold biscuits, each biscuit weighing 117 gram. So total weight is 819 gram, and this is a 24 karat pure gold. And the market cost of these biscuits as on today is approximately 50 lakh rupees. We have conducted multiple raids in the various locations of Meghalaya as well as Assam, and we were able to apprehend one Shandha from Barpeta districts, and we have recovered total 27 lakh rupees and 11,480 cash. In cash, we have also seized 4 ATM cards, 3 identity cards, and 10 numbers of mobile phones. So after the CDR analysis, we found that the interstate gang is operating to smuggle gold from Bangladesh to Meghalaya, and from Meghalaya to Guwahati, and from Guwahati to Siliguri, and then other parts of India. So far, we have arrested total 5 people, and we unearthed the nexus between the Assam as well as the Meghalaya criminals.
Now, President of Sikkim SNKSamaj Bharat Basnet, in a video statement, has called out the action of the SKM-led Sikkim government in banning the proposed Joint Action Committee and Mega Peace Rally scheduled for July the 11th. Now, Basnet, in the video statement, alleged that the action of the government is an attempt to suppress the truth and save Chief Secretary S.C. Gupta from alleged corruption charges leveled against him. Well, it may be mentioned here that the Gangtok District Administration yesterday imposed prohibitory orders under Section 144 of the Criminal Code of Procedure in the entire Mahatma Gandhi Marg and other vital roads from July the 9th till the 12th. Meanwhile, Basnet also reiterated that the handwriting on the checks issued to S.C. Gupta was the same as his own handwriting and questioned how sale of property in Rajasthan can be done on Sikkim stamp paper. Well, it may be noted here that Sikkim SNKSamaj on the 2nd of July had served a 3-day ultimatum to the state government for initiating action against the Chief Secretary over the alleged corruption allegations.
हाम्रो एउटै माग थियो सिक्किम सरकारले सिक्किमको सचिव वर्तमान मुख्य सचिव सुरेश चन्द्र गुप्तले गरेको घोटालाको जाँच होस्। यो कुराको सरकार तर्फबाट कुनै प्रकारको सुनवाई नहुँदा जोइन्ट एक्सन कमिटी गठन हुनु पर्यो र त्यसलाई अझै चाप दिनको लागि 11 तारिक हामीले शान्ति जुलुस गर्ने निर्णय लिएको। तर दुःखको कुरो लगत्तै 8 तारिकको दिन सिक्किमको गृह विभागका सचिवद्वारा कोभिड-19 को नेउमा नोटिफिकेसन जारी गरियो। एक नम्बर र सँगसँगै लगत्तै फेरि केही समय बादमा 8 तारिकको दिन डिस्ट्रिक्ट कलेक्टर अफिस जो डीसी इस्टबाट एउटा प्रोहिबिटरी अर्डर जारी गर्यो। यसले 144 धारा त्यो जग्गाहरुमा घोषणा गर्यो 4 वटा ठाउँमा, विशेष गरी जहाँनिर एमजी मार्गमा पीस र्याली गर्छौं भनेर जो हामीले घोषणा गरेको थियो जोइन्ट एक्सन कमिटीले, त्यो ठाउँमा नै 144 धारा लगाइयो। सुरेश चन्द्र गुप्तज्यूले 3 तारिकको आफ्नो सफाईमा 6 वटा चेक भन्नुभयो र त्यो चाहिँ किन भन्दा उनले राजस्थानको जमिन बिक्री गरेको भनेर भन्नुभएको छ। हामीले जनताको अगाडि मिडियाको अगाडि आएर हामीले भन्यौं जो यो 6 वटा चेक उहाँले भन्नुहुँदैछ उहाँको चेक हो। यो चेकमा जुन सुरेश चन्द्र गुप्ता भनेर नाम लेखेको छ 9,50,000 वर्ड्समा लेखिएको छ। यो यति यो लेख्ने अरु कोही हैन, सुरेश चन्द्र गुप्ताज्यू स्वयं नै हुनुहुन्छ। कारण यो चेकमा लेखेको ह्यान्डराइटिङ र उहाँले दिएको स्टेटमेन्ट, यो दिएको छ स्टेटमेन्ट, यो उहाँकै ह्यान्डराइटिङ हो।
And moving further now, a delegation of the TTAADC led by Pradyut Kishore Debarma met with Tripura Chief Minister Dr. Manik Saha today in Agartala. The main discussion was over improving the administration and informing the new Chief Minister regarding the existing problems in the TTAADC and what role the state can play in resolving them. Well, the delegation also invited the Chief Minister to visit the TTAADC areas and review the existing problems, and to which the Chief Minister agreed to conduct a review meeting very soon. Well, this was confirmed later to the media by Pradyut Debarma. Debarma also said that the main concerns in the TTAADC administration are inadequate funding, the lack of officers, and unemployment, among others.
तो क्योंकि अभी स्टेट में एक नया चीफ मिनिस्टर आया है, तो हमारे सीईओ सीके जमातिया जी जो मेरे साथ बैठे हैं, आईएएस ऑफिसर, मेरे चेयरमैन जगदीश चंद्र देबर्मा, अनिमेश, हम लोग आज आकर उनसे एक पहली बार ऑफिशियली हमने मुलाकात किया और हमने अपना पॉइंट्स उनको रखा है कि एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को कैसे ठीक किया जाए, हमारे एडीसी में क्या क्या प्रॉब्लम है, उसको आप किस तरीके से समस्या का हल कर सकते हैं। हमने उनको ब्रीफ किया है और हमने उनको निमंत्रण भी दिया है कि आप एक बार एडीसी आकर पूरे एडीसी का रिव्यू कीजिए कि कहाँ में क्या प्रॉब्लम्स हैं। उन्होंने वेलकम किया और उन्होंने कहा कि वो जल्द से जल्द एक रिव्यू मीटिंग रखेंगे रिगार्डिंग एडीसी एंड द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट। कि एडीसी में बहुत फंडिंग का प्रॉब्लम है, एडीसी में नौकरी का प्रॉब्लम है। हम नौकरी अनाउंस कर सकते हैं लेकिन नौकरी का पेइंग करने के लिए सैलरी नहीं दे सकते हैं। तो ऑफिसर्स की कमी है, हमें टीसीएस ऑफिसर्स नहीं मिल रहा है, तो बहुत प्रॉब्लम्स हैं। तो ये सब बात के लिए एक हमने कहा है कि एक रिव्यू मीटिंग किया जाए।
Well, the Assam BJP today held its executive body meeting in Dibrugarh. Now, the main agenda of the meeting was to further strengthen the party at the grassroots ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. Well, the crucial executive body meeting was presided over by the state BJP president, Bhupesh Kolita. Now, Assam Chief Minister Dr. Hemanta Biswa Sharma also attended the meet earlier today before leaving the meeting for some urgent matter. While presidents of as many as 40 district committees, prabharis and deputy prabharis of the districts attended the executive meeting. Now, besides, the president of all frontal organizations of the party were also present in the meeting. The Assam Rifles today organized a massive awareness camp regarding the Agnipath scheme in Arunachal Pradesh's insurgency-infested Tirap district. This indeed is a big positive development in Tirap, where movement of underground groups have been reported very often. Now, the camp was organized on the occasion of the 36th Youth Day of Lapnan Youth Association. While the event was primarily aimed to spread awareness among the youths and parents about the scheme. And meanwhile, the youth were highly motivated and expressed their profound desire to take up a career in the armed forces. Over 400 villagers attended the event and conveyed their heartfelt gratitude to the Assam Rifles for wholeheartedly joining them in their celebrations and making it a huge success. And on the other hand, the Assam Rifles Jazz Band also put up an enthralling performance in multiple languages, including local Nokte and Wancho songs, which mesmerized the audience. Well, India is observing a one-day national mourning today over the demise of former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who was assassinated on Friday. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while announcing a one-day national mourning, expressed his deepest condolences at the tragic demise of Shinzo Abe. Prime Minister Modi also highlighted Abe's role in elevating the India-Japan relationship to an entire new level. Former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was assassinated on Friday on a street in the city of Nara in western Japan by a gunman who opened fire on him from behind as he delivered a campaign speech. Well, meanwhile, NDA presidential candidate Draupadi Murmu's proposed meet with Sikkim legislators today in Siliguri has been postponed. Well, Draupadi Murmu was scheduled to meet Sikkim legislators today for garnering support for the candidature. Well, Murmu's proposed meet with the Sikkim legislators has been cancelled in the wake of the one-day national mourning today due to the death of the former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Now, under the circumstances, the visit of the NDA's presidential candidate has been rescheduled for July the 11th. Now, we have reactions coming in from Political Secretary to the Sikkim Chief Minister Jacob Khaling and the Press Secretary to the Chief Minister Vikash Basnet. Let's listen in.
राष्ट्रपति पद के जो उम्मीदवार द्रौपदी मुर्मू का जो सिलीगुड़ी का जो टूर था वो कैंसिल हुआ है, तो कैसी तैयारी चल रहा था और कैंसिल होने का वजह क्या है?
विशेष एनडीए का साझा राष्ट्रपति उम्मीदवार श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू का आज सिक्किम के एनडीए विधायकों दल के साथ एक विशेष सभा था। एनडीए में जो सिक्किम क्रांतिकारी मोर्चा और भाजपा सिक्किम के विधायकों का निश्चित कार्यक्रम था, पर कल जो एक दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण घटना घटा सिक्किम के इंडिया के हमारा मित्र राष्ट्र जापान के पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री के साथ, इसके कारण देश भर में आज शोक मनाया जा रहा है। इसलिए ये सिक्किम का मीटिंग श्रीमती द्रौपदी का आज का कैंसिल हुआ है। ये 11 तारीख को होगा। इसको हमने पूर्ण रूप ले उनको स्वागत के लिए और सभा के लिए तैयारी किया था। अब ये 11 तारीख रहेगा।
तैयारी के बारे में विशेष मैं बताना चाहता हूँ कि सिक्किम के जितना भी कल्चरल झांकी है और पारंपरिक जो स्वागत के लिए हम लोग तैयार कर रहे थे। इसका 2 भाग था, एक एयरपोर्ट में और जहाँ पर हम लोग का जो कार्यक्रम स्थल था वहाँ पर भी सिक्किम का पारंपरिक रूप से उनको स्वागत करना, और जहाँ कार्यक्रम स्थल था उसको भी हम लोग ने एक सिक्किम का फील दिया था, क्योंकि अभी रास्ते के कारण से और ये जो हेलीकॉप्टर का भी उतना समय अनुकूल नहीं है, क्योंकि सिक्किम जाने के लिए उनका जो समय नहीं था, इसलिए जहाँ पर हम लोग का कार्यक्रम स्थल था सिलीगुड़ी में, वहाँ पर सिक्किम का पारंपरिक ढांचा और सिक्किम का कल्चरल, सिक्किम का खान पान सब उनको हम लोग प्रदर्शन करने वाले थे। हम लोग 11 तारीख अभी कार्यक्रम आया है उनका औपचारिक रूप से, तो 11 तारीख हम ये कार्यक्रम संपन्न करने जा रहे हैं।
And we also have reactions coming in from Sikkim Chief Minister Prem Singh Tama.
इलेक्शन 18 तारीख को है सर, तो किनके साथ आप लोग?
हम लोग तो एनडीए है, हमारा एनडीए का घटक दल है हम लोग, तो हमारा एनडीए का उम्मीदवार है श्रीमती द्रौपदी मुर्मू मैडम है, उनको हम लोग पूरा समर्थन 100 में 100 समर्थन करेंगे।
सर आप आमंत्रण दे रहा है कि उसको आपका स्टेट में आने के लिए?
हम आमंत्रण दे आज था उनका, आज हमारा कार्यक्रम था, लेकिन जो जापान का पूर्व प्रधानमंत्री का जो देहांत हुआ, अनसर्टेन डेथ हुआ, उनके कारण आज स्टेट मॉर्निंग है, इसीलिए हम लोग ने इसको स्थगित करके हम 11 तारीख को ये प्रोग्राम करेंगे।
Members of the Assam BJP today paid rich tributes to former Japanese Premier Shinzo Abe, who was assassinated on Friday. A special tribute ceremony was held today in the sidelines of the BJP executive meet, which is being held in eastern Assam's Dibrugarh. And meanwhile, in Arunachal Pradesh's Chief Minister Pema Khandu, along with MP and Bharat Janata Yuva Morcha National President Tejasvi Surya, paid homage to the late former Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, who was assassinated on Friday. Well, the Chief Minister paid homage to the former Japan Prime Minister at the GRL Monastery in Bomdila today. Now, monks at the monastery, according to Buddhist tradition, prayed for the swift rebirth of Abe. Well, earlier, Chief Minister Pema Khandu fondly recalled the extraordinary humility of Shinzo Abe, his intense love for India, and commitment to democratic values. Pema Khandu also joined Abe at the Samvad Symposium in Tokyo back in 2018. Well, Khandu also said that Abe's death is a big loss to the world of politics. And with that story, we end the bulletin. I'm Aaron Lingdo. News and updates continues.
Railway yard where this massive landslide took place.